Welcome to episode 122 of Soccer Over Gotham. The off-season is official edition. We have a great show for all of you. Gary, what do we have in this episode?
We have a ton on this episode. Gotham falls short to the Spirit on the road, and we're going to do a deep dive on some questionable coaching decisions, the wild back and forth of this match, and the penalties. Oof. And then we'll give our takeaways from this match. And then part two of this episode is going to be a lot of fun. We're bringing in the super team. Noella is going to join us, and we're going to talk about the offseason because the offseason is official. There's no rest for Gotham players as they are going right into the national team camp. And we got some awards on this show. And then we're going to talk about how this season went and if it was a success. We're going to ask the fans. We're going to do the fan poll results, and then we'll give our decisions on whether we think this season was a success given the expectations. And, are those expectations realistic? We'll cover that. Then we will take our first look at the contracts that are expiring this season, and we'll see who is going to stay, who's going to go, what's Gotham going to do with this crazy offseason now that we don't have the draft, we don't have the expansion draft. It's going to be an interesting offseason, and we'll preview all of that. And there is a ton of fan questions on this episode. We asked you guys delivered. We're going to talk about all that, and let's just get to it. Ruby, how are you?
First of all, we're back. I'm so happy to be back. I wish we were talking about Gotham winning and going to the finals, but it was still a good season. And I'm telling you that I still can't get used to the days being shorter, and then it's dark by 5. It's kind of depressing, but we'll get used to it, I guess. How are you, Gary?
Good. These days are going so fast. I can't keep up. I was just thinking about the other day. I'm like, I got to worry about Thanksgiving. I'm like, oh, that's a while away. When is
Nope.
that's next week? Craziness.
Yeah.
And then,
So
yeah.
at my company, they're doing, sorry, cut you off,
Yeah,
but
no, yeah.
at my company, they're doing a Thanksgiving lunch tomorrow.
Okay.
And then they were like, are you guys ready for tomorrow? And in my head, I was like, for what? And then I remember oh yeah, Thanksgiving was next week. So yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Christmas is coming. It doesn't quite feel like Christmas. I hear there's snow coming to the Lehigh Valley on Friday.
What?
Yeah, so maybe that, and maybe I'll watch a Hallmark movie tomorrow. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll say.
Oh, that sounds good.
Get into the mode. But onto the show. First, we're gonna do something we haven't done in a while. Is some hashtag Once Gotham news, and I think the most Once Gotham thing ever happened this week, which is Sam Kerr and Christy Mewis are having a child, which is amazing. Just incredible. Ruby,
I
amazing.
know. I'm so happy for them. Congratulations on this new baby. And just a few days ago, I was going through their socials, and then something about their engagement popped up, and I was like, oh my God, a year ago they were engaged. And I was like, I'm sure pretty soon they're gonna announce the wedding or something. But no, it's a baby. So we skipped the wedding for now. But I'm so happy for them. Congratulations.
Incredible. And we are on Blue Sky right now, so you can go follow us over there.
Yeah.
One of the reasons we're over there is because X and Twitter is an absolute dumpster fire. And places that posted this photo of them two had to turn off comments because it's just a mess over there. And I just can't take it. So we're working our way over there. Follow us there. We get half of our fans over there, but we might just jump there trying. But good for them. I can't wait. Again, congrats to them.
Yeah, I heard today they have 20 million new users as of today.
Yeah,
and they're getting 1 million users every day, something like that, which is crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah, indeed. On to actual Gotham news. 6 players have been called in for a tour of Europe, which is Emily Sonnet, Rose Lavelle, Lynn Williams, Yasmin Ryan back in camp, Jenna Neiswanger, and Tierna Davidson. Amazing for them too. They will play on Saturday, November 30th at 12:20 p.m. and then on December 3rd at 2:45 p.m. What are your thoughts, Ruby?
Oh my God. I'm so happy for all of them to
Hmm.
like get to this camp after this amazing season that they had. Fortunately, they didn't get to the final, but they're going to go represent the US. LaBelle, Sonnet, Ryan, and I'm so excited to see Ryan play
Hmm.
in these games because she's first of all she's gonna go play, or all these players are gonna go play outside the country. They're not gonna be in home turf. So that's going to be different playing in another stadium in another country. So the fans there are going to be cheering for the other team. So it's going to be a different environment. I want to see how Ryan plays in these games. It's going to be really interesting. But honestly, I cannot wait.
Yeah, it's a friendly game, but these two teams definitely want to go out the United States. There's a lot of history with these two teams. It's
Mm-hmm.
going to be a lot of fun, and yeah, we definitely want to see Ryan show off. She's been amazing, even in we get to this game, but I thought Ryan looked like the best player on the field of this last past game. Her ascent is incredible, just incredible. We also got some good news about Bernina getting called into Brazil camp finally.
Ooh,
They play Thursday, November 28th at 5 a.m. in the morning, then Sunday, December 1st at 3:35 a.m.
wow. I don't know about those times here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to stay up, but I'll sure watch the replay. Not
Yeah,
probably not live.
I'll check and see if she plays, and if she doesn't, then oh well.
But I'm glad she's back with the Brazilian team. It's been like a couple of camps, and she didn't
Yeah,
even go to the Olympics. So I'm happy to see her back.
indeed. She hasn't got many minutes lately, and when she has gotten minutes, she's looked really good. So hopefully they saw that and brought her back in. Other Gotham news is Berger Neiswanger made the first team All NWSL. Ryan and Esther and Lavelle made the second team. And today, Katrine Berger won Goalkeeper of the Year, which is amazing. And that was surprising to me.
Ooh, yes. I mean, the competition was really good this year,
Hmm.
but she's been amazing. And I think she does deserve the award of being best goalkeeper of the NWSL. She came in the middle, not in the middle, but she didn't start the season with us.
Hmm.
So that's amazing.
Yeah, I really thought Orlando's keeper was going to get it because she set the shutout record for this first season. But I'm glad that they chose Berger. I think she's been amazing, and I think it's clear that is the best keeper in this league. And I can't wait to see her next year when she's got a whole year under her belt and be able to understand the nuances of the team better. It can only get better from here. I'm just glad that she's here. Now, getting to this game. Both teams are looking to make the finals for the second time in a couple of years. Both teams have made the final recently. And Gotham is pretty healthy for the first time this season. And Washington has been hit with a lot of injuries. They're missing Sullivan. They're missing Bethune. These are two teams that are on different paths, but both teams find ways to win. And it's going to be a really tough game, especially in a sold out stadium there in Washington. And the interesting things about this lineup, Ruby, is no Lynn Williams. Ellis Stevens is in as left forward. And as we talked about before, Mandy Freeman is back at left back again, and Neiswanger on the bench. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. Well, first I want to say that I kind of changed my mind
Hmm.
after, because we did talk about like Freeman being in the starting 11 for this game.
Hmm.
And we said, well, I said yes because she's been performing. But at the same time, she's been playing more minutes. I think Nicewanger would have been a better choice to start this game because she hasn't really played many minutes. So she is well rested to come into this game and give 110% in this game. And like you mentioned, no Williams. That's another what was going through Juan Carlos Amaro's head, like when she didn't pick Williams in this starting lineup. She has a lot of experience. She has won 4 NWSL championships, so I would think that would be the right choice. But hey, we still got strong players starting. This is another thing that we talk about in the show, how Gotham has a lot of options. Their depth is like incredible. But yeah, what are your thoughts?
I think when Lynn Williams is healthy and Jeno Neiswanger are on the same side together, I think they're the best left side in the entire league. It's crazy
Yeah.
to think that we had them on the bench if they were healthy. Ella Stevens has been playing really well. She's been a hero of this season. She deserves to be out there. There's a lot of players that deserve to be out there, but Freeman has been just lights out as a left back. And I think that Juan Carlos looked at Rodman first. She's very physical, uh, right wing. It has a lot of speed, and Nice Morgan likes to get caught up forward a lot, so it
Yeah.
causes Lynn to get back more. So if you don't have Lynn up there, it might be better to have Freeman, who can drop back more, be a little bit more defensive minded. And I thought Freeman did a good job overall against Rodman. She was pretty quiet for the first half, and for actually for most of this game. So I do, and I think Juan Carlos also likes to play players and give them, like, when they're hot, they're hot. So
Hmm.
Freeman's been hot lately, so keep her going. It's interesting. It's something that definitely we're going to second guess later on, but yeah, let's talk about this game first. Elwood on Blue Sky said that on the pod last week that I mentioned how often it felt like teams failed to land a decisive blow against the Spirit, and like Gotham should have wrapped this up before the 60th minute. I agree with all that, of course, because I said it. Um, but I think my analysis of Washington was pretty spot on last week. I pretty much got everything right except for, like, I thought Gotham was going to win. But I think there was moments in this game where Gotham just could not punish Washington for bad behavior, playing a little bit loose out of the back, and Gotham had chances. And I think Elwood is right. I think Gotham could have had this wrapped up by the 60th minute. But as I always said, Washington finds a way. They claw back, they don't give up, and they fight. Just your overall thoughts on this game, Ruby, just as a overall.
Yeah. I I think they missed last episode and they didn't hear you say this
Hmm.
because if they would have followed this, it would have been a much better game.
Hmm.
Overall, I felt like they ran out of gas at the end, pretty much. It was kind of like they started strong, they did great in the first half. Second half, they come in strong, they scored, they lead the game. But then they went into like a all defensive mode and kind of like trying to kill time during, like, I think it was at the 60th minute, something like that. They started like trying to kill time. And that's not something that, at least not in the last few games that I seen Gotham do. They go to against these strong teams like Orlando, and they just kept going at them, and we saw the result of that. They scored 3 goals on Orlando. I think, I don't know why they did that, but hey, I guess they were trying to like kind of like, let's get that goal and then just go defend and win the game. They were not expecting Washington to come back and just go at them with everything they had, and that's what they did. Also in this game, you could tell that they were a lot in their heads, and Trinity Rodman was really good at doing that. You could see it when Bernina got her red card. Like, she just got in her head. It didn't go the way we wanted to, but overall, it was a good game.
I agree with all of that, Ruby. And we've seen this with Gotham throughout this season and even last season. When Gotham gets ahead, they sometimes will get a goal and then put up like the mission accomplished sign, and then
Mm,
sit back and kind of dial it back a bit. In the playoffs, that sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't, and it didn't work today,
yeah.
or it didn't work on the day. It is something that Gotham has to work on because, as you said, towards the end of the season, they were not doing that. They would just keep pouring it on. They would keep attacking, keep pushing the envelope, and uh, this was a default Gotham, and it just didn't work out for them.
Yeah, and the Washington coach mentioned that they had to play a nearly perfect game to win against Gotham.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Right. And another thing I do want to talk about is what I think was an issue early on with Gotham. It was just being undisciplined, which is not usually like this team. I think Sheehan got a card early, Carter got a card early, then Bernini getting a double yellow, coming on as a substitute, Jenna getting we'll talk about this in a minute, but like Jenna getting a card right before the goal. It just seemed like Gotham was maybe letting the moment get to them, and maybe the pressure was a little bit too much with that crazy crowd around them. But I just felt like Gotham was a little bit undisciplined in this game.
Yeah, they really were. And some of those like fouls and some of those guards honestly could have been easily avoided, but again, they just didn't want Washington to get ahead of them, and they were just making like careless mistakes on the field. So again, I feel like they were just in their heads.
Yeah. The Bernini card was frustrating because it's like the first card she got was a little underwhelming. Maybe it shouldn't have been a card, but the second one was an obvious card, and she had cover as well.
Mhm.
It was unnecessary for her to make that foul there, and yeah, it's just frustrating. It kind of led to the overall discipline to this team. Getting to the positives of this game, Esther was awesome. She was all over the field, and she scored a goal very similar to the goal she scored in the NWSL final. She just gets up there. She has ability to just really get a little bit of torque in her body and get the ball in the right spot. And it was just amazing goal. Just clean, perfect goal.
Yeah, it was such a great goal, especially coming from like a short player. Shout
Mm-hmm.
out to all the short players out there
Mm-hmm.
because it's a lot about timing too. You have to time the ball really well to make sure you're in the right spot. And from the angle that she did it, it's pretty hard. And she just got it so good. Like that goal was so good. Also, Kingsbury was like going the other side. So by the time she tried to go to the other side to get the ball, it was too late. It was already in.
Beautiful. And then the Hirschfeld goal, we were talking about this before, but Jenna Nice-Wanger taking an uncharacteristic foul around the box. She had cover as well. Just let her get to the end line. Who cares? Gives the ball across. The defense is doing well at this point. And Hirschfeld just finds a way in the middle of the box. She wanted a little bit more than the Gotham players and put it in the back of the net. And then Dread kicks in, Ruby. What do you think about this goal?
Oh, yeah. It was a great goal, but I didn't like it. And like you said, it could have been avoided. Nice Wonger had didn't have to foul in there. Honestly, those are just those little mistakes that you make. Like I said last week on the last episode, it just takes a moment. It's just a second. You're like distracted or you're not focused. It just takes 1 second, and that this is what happened. Hirschfeld was, like one step ahead of Nice Wonger, and she felt like she needed to stop her and foul her, and the consequences of that was that goal.
Then a question from Ross said, how disappointed should we feel at the semifinal game management? Subs at beginning of extra time were a massive error. Washington kept Rodman on. We took our stars off and couldn't sub after the red card and had Lynn playing right back. What was he thinking? It's still a very impressive year, but... And that gets to the pulling Ryan and Lavelle at extra time when Washington keeps Rodman on. What do you think?
I know they played most of the game, but I would have kept them in. I know those are like two key players in this team that I know that could make something out of nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I for me I would have kept them in. What about you?
It seemed from the coach saying that those two players were spent, and they were kind of like just over their minutes at that point. I get it. I wanted to keep them in there as well. Those are players that you not only want for extra time, but you want them for penalties if it does get to that. Those are two players that could have taken a penalty when we needed them to. And let's just get to the penalties. Gets to the end and 3 penalties, 3 misses, right in the same spot, one after another. And these are players that score penalties. Esther, Zerboni, and Nice-Wanger. They were chosen for that reason, and just 3 poor penalties. What do you think?
Oh my God, those penalties. First of all, the penalties were terrible.
Mm-hmm.
They were so bad. But just imagine how nervous and the pressure that these players had. For example, for Esther, you're the first one to kick the ball for your team, but you know that your opponent just scored on you, so you have the pressure to be the first one. You have to score this penalty, and then she missed.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second player, Zerboni, now you feel the pressure because your teammate just missed the last penalty and the opponent just scored, so you're down 1, you have to score, and she misses as well. And then Nice Wonger, I felt so bad for Nice Wonger because you could tell that like she didn't really want to take that penalty. She like took a deep breath before she was going to take this penalty, and I could see her nerves, especially again now 2 teammates didn't score and you are the third one. And pretty much if you don't score, that's it. you lose. And she didn't score. It was so heartbreaking to see. It was incredible for Kingsbury to be able to like get those shots, but those shots were terrible.
The home team has won every game in this playoffs, and the top four teams are the best teams this league has ever seen. Home field advantage definitely played a part in it. Having 19,000, fans screaming is intense. So
Yeah.
Stair played the whole game, 120 minutes, which is tough for her. Then Zerboni and Nicewire coming in late in the game, not really warmed up into the match. That kind of was tough for them. Second guessing is second guessing. Berger I think, did really well. There's nobody in the world that I want in the goal besides Berger on penalties, and she guessed right 2 of the 3 times. She just couldn't get her hands on it. Yeah, it's just unfortunate, and the home team wins. The home team moves on.
Yeah, definitely sucks. Berger almost had that penalty kick. I think it was Hatch, the one that kicked it. She almost had it. Like it touched her glove, but it was too powerful. It still went in. But yeah, like you said, overall, they had a great game.
Question at the end is, did Juan Carlos overthink this one?
I kind of think that he did. Like instead of going with what he's been doing the last 4 or 5 games, I think he kind of retrieved kind of like to like the beginning of the season, where Gotham was not really scoring much goals, and I don't know what was going on there, but yeah, I think he did a little bit.
Yeah, there's signs of it from the beginning, from the roster to the coaching decisions during the game. Yeah, it did feel like he was in his own head, and he did overcoach himself in this game, and it happens. He's been brilliant these past 2 seasons. There's nobody else I'd want at the helm besides him. It happens. It could be that, he's coaching against another well-known Spanish coach who's had his number all season. Maybe he was overcorrecting. It's, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Any player notes for this match?
Yes, I just wanted to say to bring up and shout out Berger. Like she had such a great game against Washington. She was able to like pretty much save some good shots from Washington. Washington just was bringing everything at Berger, and I think she did a great job. For me, like she played really well, and that's why we have the goalie of the year.
True, and then she made that double save early on in the game, which would have changed everything.
Yeah.
With this game, she was incredible. I also want to highlight Neely Martin. I think she's been amazing, not only all season, but she came into the playoffs as the captain, and we all know her growth as a player and as a person. She's been amazing, and she was awesome in this game, and she had to take on a little bit more responsibility when the team was down a player, and I thought she did really well acting as a third center back and really limiting the attack of Washington. So I just want to give her a shout out because she was excellent on the nights.
Yeah, she really was, and I feel like Emma Hayes should be watching at Neely Martin.
Yeah, indeed. Any stats of the game?
Yes, I do have a stat. Pretty much kind of like a tale of 2 stories, pretty much. Like in the first half, Gotham had 53% possession of the ball. And then in the second half, they had 43% possession of the ball. So that kind of decreased. And like I'm telling you, it felt like they were running out of gas, and this shows.
Yeah. I got 2 main stats, and one is something it's like an overarching thing. We talked about on this team being tidy in the back, and there's a team that presses high, and a team that needs to have good, tidy backline passing, and they can't make mistakes. And in this game, Washington did a really good job of pressuring the back line and force them into bad passes. Overall, Martin had 64% accurate passing, Davidson 79, Sonnet 83, Carter 67, and Mandy Freeman had only 56% accurate passing. Again, good on Washington for that as well. And the other thing is, I think Washington is the first team that I can remember who actually dominated the field tilt battle, where most of the action was happening on Gotham's side of the field. Yes, obviously the card played into that as well, but for the first time, I mean, Washington had 154 passes in Gotham's half, and Gotham only had 125. That is a very low number for Gotham, who likes to press high, keep teams pinned in. Again, good on Washington for being able to break pressure and get out. And yeah, It was just a tough night for Gotham. This was not a good night statistically or at the end of the game on the stat line. Any heroes of this match?
For me, the hero of the match is Esther Gonzalez.
Mhm. Yeah,
What about?
I got to stare as well. She was awesome on the night, and she got the goal. She kept us in it, and missed penalty, whatever. But she was excellent, excellent, and I can't wait to see her again next season, just leading the line. Which leaves two teams, Orlando Pride and the Washington Spirit. Ruby, what do you think? Who's going to win this thing? Who are you rooting for?
Woo. Well, now that Gotham is out, I'm rooting for Orlando because I'm from Florida. I was
Mhm.
really close to Orlando, so I feel like Orlando's my hometown, my home. So I'm rooting for Orlando, but on top of that, I'm rooting for Marta. Like she deserves this. She deserves to win a championship. She's been with Orlando for so long. She's been through the lows and now the highs. So I think she deserves it. Hopefully they win. If if I'm gonna make a prediction, I don't know, maybe a 3-1.
Ooh,
If yeah.
3-1. All right. It's bold.
Yeah.
But
But hey, I think they're gonna, like you have mentioned before, it's gonna be like an Ali Krieger type of situation here for Orlando. So I think they're gonna go all out.
yeah, I hope so. I've watched that Marta goal like 50 times on loop. Just
Oh my
amazing.
God. That goal was incredible.
Yeah, looking like 22-year-old Marta, just tearing. Just the you see like the ball gets loose from Banda, and then you see Marta's eyes just get all big, and she just takes off, and I'm just like, wow, is she flying? To beat those two defenders, then beat the goalkeeper. It was just classic Marta. She's the greatest of all time. She
Just
deserves
breaking
this.
ankles out there.
Yeah, just like Ali Krieger did last season. I want to see Marta win the championship before she heads off because she deserves it. She deserves everything. Yes, this podcast is calling for Marta to win her first championship. We are going to move on to section 2, where we talk about the off season with the super team, Noella, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Ruby, you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Let's go.